Ellen DeGeneres, once the queen of daytime television, loved for her humor and positivity, now finds herself in a storm she never expected. After years out of the spotlight, Ellen was gearing up for a massive comeback with a new Netflix special. But in a twist no one saw coming, Netflix pulled the plug, and Ellen's reaction has left the industry buzzing. What exactly went wrong behind closed doors? Was this a business decision or something more personal? Could it be that the world just wasn't ready to forgive her? Stay tuned, because this story is far deeper and darker than it seems. Ellen DeGeneres, from talk show royalty to tabloid headline. There was a time when Ellen DeGeneres could do no wrong. Her daytime show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, ran for nearly 2 decades, bagging countless awards, high-profile guests, and a loyal fan base. But behind the scenes, things weren't as sunny. Allegations of workplace toxicity, mistreatment of staff, and a growing public perception of inauthenticity brought her empire crashing down. In 2020, a string of reports painted a picture far removed from her on-screen persona. The brand built on kindness began to crumble, and the public's trust shifted almost overnight. Ellen went from being America's sweetheart to one of its most controversial figures in the blink of an eye. A carefully orchestrated comeback. After her departure, Ellen went silent. No public appearances, no big interviews, no major projects, until whispers of a comeback started swirling. Netflix, it seemed, was ready to give her another shot, a stand-up comedy special positioned as a fresh start. The plan was bold. Ellen would blend humor with introspection, addressing her controversy head on. She saw it not just as a comeback, but a reinvention, a chance to show the world she had changed. Early rumors suggested the special would pull no punches, featuring raw, unfiltered takes on fame, scandal, and personal growth. To many, this was the Ellen people wanted, a humanized version, flaws and all, stepping into the spotlight once again. Netflix's bold bet and quiet reservations. Netflix has a history of reviving controversial figures. From Dave Chappelle to Louis C.K., the platform knows how to balance scandal with viewership. Ellen's special was seen as a high-stakes gamble, and initially, the streaming giant stood firmly behind her. But internal memos hinted that not everyone was convinced. Concerns grew about the tone of Ellen's material. Was it genuine apology or tone-deaf justification? Early script reviews suggested her jokes might not strike the right balance between humor and humility. Executives grew nervous about whether audiences were ready to laugh with Ellen again, or whether they would see it as her trying to sweep past actions under the rug. The cultural landscape shifted again. Another problem? The cultural conversation had moved on. In a world increasingly focused on accountability, forgiveness isn't handed out easily, especially not in Hollywood. Ellen's reputation hadn't recovered as much as she had hoped. Audiences now demand more than humor. They want real change. Netflix feared the backlash of appearing to reward someone whose apology many believed wasn't enough. Public trust, once broken, isn't easily repaired, especially when it involves accusations of power abuse in a toxic workplace. The environment Ellen was returning to was not the same forgiving space she once dominated. The decision to cancel What We Know. In a discreet meeting earlier this month, Netflix executives made the call. Ellen's comeback special would not move forward. Officially, no announcement was made, but leaks from inside the company painted a clear picture. Executives weighed potential viewership against potential outrage, and the risks far outweighed the rewards. It wasn't just about Ellen, it was about the platform's future credibility. Netflix, already under fire for other controversies, wasn't willing to gamble its reputation again. They decided it was better to cut their losses now rather than face a PR nightmare later. Ellen's explosive reaction. When news of the cancellation reached Ellen, insiders say she was livid. Far from the polished, smiling persona viewers knew, Ellen reportedly felt blindsided and betrayed. She believed she had crafted the perfect narrative for a comeback, self-aware, humorous, and ultimately redemptive. In private, she's said to have vented frustrations, calling Netflix executives spineless for backing out. Sources close to Ellen describe her as feeling humiliated, not just professionally, but personally. To her, this wasn't just a business deal gone bad, it was a personal rejection of her attempt to set things right. Public silence, private turmoil. Publicly, Ellen has remained quiet. No official statement, no interviews. But behind the scenes, it's a different story. Friends reveal she's been deeply hurt by the decision, questioning whether there's any room for second chances in today's unforgiving media environment. Some close to her suggest she feels canceled twice, once by the public, now by the very industry she helped shape. The emotional toll, they say, has been heavier than many realize. Sources claim Ellen is grappling with whether to fight back or step away altogether. In private conversations, she's reportedly described the situation as a betrayal by the very system she helped build. Critics, however, insist Netflix made the right call. They see it as a necessary step toward true accountability, arguing that redemption shouldn't come without real change and an acknowledgement of past harm. Some argue that Ellen's silence during the original allegations only deepened the public's mistrust. This debate continues to rage online, reflecting larger cultural tensions about cancel culture and redemption. What's next for Ellen? Is this truly the end for Ellen DeGeneres? It's hard to say. Some reports suggest she's quietly shopping around the special to other platforms, perhaps Amazon Prime or even a direct-to-consumer model. Others claim she's contemplating a tell-all memoir or an uncensored documentary to tell her side of the story without corporate filters. One thing is certain, Ellen isn't one to disappear quietly. Whether through new media, live tours, or an independent production, she's likely plotting her next move carefully. The bigger picture, redemption in the age of cancel culture. Ellen's situation isn't just about one special. It's about a larger question. Can public figures come back from scandal in today's hypercritical world? In a media environment that rarely forgets and even more rarely forgives, the rules of redemption have changed. As Ellen ponders her next steps, the world watches, not just to see if she can rebuild, but whether society itself is willing to believe in second chances again. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that dive beneath the headlines. And remember, in today's world, a comeback isn't just about second chances, it's about who you become when the world stops clapping.